Can a criminal record stop you from entering Canada or the United States? Yes, it can. And it happens to people more often than you might think. Even if the charge happened decades ago, even if it was dismissed or sealed, even if you've crossed the border before without any issues, things have changed. I've worked with clients who were pulled into secondary screening, denied entry at the airport, and turned around at the landing at the port of entry. They didn't expect it because they thought the matter was behind them years ago. Let's talk about why this happens and what you can do about it. I'm Evelyn Ackah, founder of Ackah Business Immigration Law. For over 25 years, I've helped individuals, families, and companies move across borders safely and strategically. My team and I specialize in cross-border travel and resolving issues related to criminal inadmissibility. A lot of people don't realize that immigration law treats criminal records very seriously, even if the justice system has already dealt with the charge. Canada, in particular, has strict laws under the Immigration Refugee Protection Act. Anyone with what's considered a serious criminal offense may be found inadmissible to Canada. This includes offenses like DUIs, assaults, fraud, theft, and drug-related charges. And the U.S. has its own rules for criminal inadmissibility too, especially when it comes to moral turpitude, crimes, or controlled substances. Here's the part that catches people off guard. You don't have to be convicted to be flagged at the border. They're two different things. A charge that was dismissed or expunged can still appear in the database shared between the U.S. and Canadian officials. And those systems don't always reflect updates right away. Let me give you a few examples that I've experienced. Chris Brown was denied entry to Canada because of his 2009 felony assault conviction. Even though he was traveling for work to do concerts in Canada and he was a well-known artist, he was refused entry because Canada treats that kind of conviction as a serious criminality. We recently worked with a videographer with Taylor Swift's last tour, and he was worried about being denied entry because he had decades-old drug offenses and he wanted to make sure he had all the right documents so he could make it in time to be in Canada for the final concert for Taylor Swift. The law doesn't care about fame or status. The rules apply equally to everyone. This happens to everyday travelers too. One of our clients had a DUI more than 2 decades ago, and he traveled into Canada for years without a single issue. Then one day, he was flagged and denied. Nothing had changed on his end, but the system had updated their technology, and now he was inadmissible. That's all it took. Another client had a dismissed charge, but it still showed up at the border as if she was charged. And so she was detained and questioned for hours. Even though her case was closed, she was never convicted, but it didn't matter to the port of entry officials. So what can you do if you have a record and you need to cross the border? There are solutions, and the key is to plan early. A temporary resident permit, or TRP, can allow someone to enter Canada temporarily despite being deemed inadmissible. This is useful for urgent travel like business meetings, family events, you have to come to a funeral, but it does require a strong application and solid supporting documents. Also, criminal rehabilitation is a permanent solution in Canada. If enough time has passed since your sentence was completed, you may be eligible for crim rehab. It takes time to process, about 2 years now, but it does remove the inadmissibility altogether forever. And in some rare cases, a person may qualify for what's called deemed rehabilitation, and this only applies if the offense was very minor and there's only one and it happened a long time ago. You still need legal guidance to confirm eligibility. If you are inadmissible to the U.S., you may need a waiver to enter, and these are approved by the Department of Homeland Security and often need to be renewed every few years, and they take 6 to 9 months to get. None of these are quick fixes. Some take several months to prepare and process, and that's why I always tell people to start early. Don't wait until the week of your trip to figure this out. I can't help you then. And for employers or HR professionals, it's critical that you create a process for identifying potential travel barriers ahead of time. I've seen projects delayed and major events disrupted because someone couldn't get into Canada or the United States because of a past offense that no one thought would matter. Ask the right questions early. Be proactive, not reactive. A past mistake should not define your future. If you've had a criminal charge or conviction and you need to travel for work, family, or opportunity, talk to somebody who understands immigration law. At Ackah Law, we help clients build the right strategy so they can move forward with confidence and clarity and cross the border. Book a consultation with our team at ackahlaw.com, and let's make sure nothing stops you at the border.